So, I mean, I know other people have needs too, and I want what's best for everybody, and I don't want to be hurting other people by trying to get treatment, but, I mean, what do you want me to do? Die? What do you want me to do? Just, like, ignore what I can tell are serious health problems? Is that the goal? Is you want me to say, oh, you know, you guys' needs are so important that I'm going to go with what is the most serious health problem that I've ever experienced, and probably the most serious problem that any of us have experienced? I mean, the most serious, like, the prognosis is not good, and medical treatment so far hasn't been able to help it. And, I forget what I was saying, but anyway, what's going to be good for everybody? So if your goal is not to be anxious anymore about me being sick, then the thing to do is to get me good treatment, to maybe participate in finding me a good doctor that's going to be able to help with the remaining problems that I have, and that has a good success rate, and that other people recommend, other people who've gotten better recommend. It needs to be a holistic doctor, because the sorts of things that I'm dealing with are more broad. And, you know, and I have a good sense of what's out there and what people like, because I've been doing the research, and I've been on Facebook, and I've been on the groups hearing what's going on with other people, so I can, you know, give us some guidance. And, yeah, because if you do that, then that's what's really going to make you less anxious, is if you feel like someone's in control, the doctor who's capable is in control, and you'll see me getting better, and then that's what's going to be the best thing for you. Just imagine how much less anxious you're going to be if I'm like, yes, I'm getting so much better with this treatment, it's really helping me, and then I'm like, great, I'm feeling better, I'm able to get a job, I'm able to go back to school, I'm able to have a career, I'm able to support myself, and then you don't have to worry about me anymore. And that's what you really want. What you do not want is if you say, oh, I have to cut off your treatment, and then you have this chronically ill child that is always having emergencies and is never really able to get life going again if she doesn't get enough treatment to get to that point. It's sort of a thing where, you know, if I'm not getting help with treatment and I've got to make my money for my own treatment, I'm not going to be able to pay for very good treatment, and I'm just going to have to, like, do free stuff and cheap stuff, and I just don't know how that's going to go, because I can tell that there are some things that I'm dealing with that I need professional help with. If I thought that I could get better just on my own, then I'd be trying to do that. You know, I mean, if it were really a big financial crisis. But I don't. I mean, I've got to be humble, and I've got to say I can't do everything, and I can tell what I can do, and I can tell what I can't do. You know, I can work on my diet a lot on my own, but when it comes to some more complicated things involving metals and toxicity in the brain, I don't want to mess with that myself. I need someone who knows more than I do, and I need someone who can do it safely, because I don't want to hurt myself. And that's very responsible of me to be saying this, is that I'm saying I recognize that there are these problems that I probably need to address that would probably help me to get better, that I can't do on my own. And I'm not, you know, I'm smart, but I'm not omnipotent, I'm not omniscient. So, and they say that the goal is to do things cheaply. Well, the most cheap way to do things is to get a good doctor and get better fast, because think of all the lost income, think of all paying for my food during all this time and stuff. The cheapest thing is for me to get better faster. And also, you know, what you really don't want to happen is that this drags on and this turns into a bad thing, because, I mean, I know you probably think if you cut off treatment that, oh, I'll just have to get things together and I'll manage to get better, but, you know, I really don't know what's going to happen. It can drag on for a long time. Lyme, if you don't treat it well enough, can really drag on and be a very, very long-term thing. And frankly, here's something very funny and interesting, is that you're missing out on one of the really big and important ways that you could be helping me to get better and getting rid of this problem that you just want to get off of your plate, which is showing love and showing good parenting and showing that you care about me, and all this stuff about, like, oh, Andrea, I think that you're stagnated. What the fuck? If anybody's stagnated, it's you. It's not me. And, like, you know, all this shitty stuff, and, you know, and it's almost like you're setting up a disincentive for me to start working, because I was trying to start working until I got the carpal tunnel, but, you know, I was trying to be doing certain things, and because I felt, you know, but now if it's sort of like, oh, well, I'm going to cut off your money for treatment so that you have to start working, it's sort of like, you're creating this like power struggle where it's like you win if I work and I lose if I work. And you really don't want to be creating that kind of a thing. You want to be giving your child love and encouragement. And I just, what's the goal anyway? I mean, it seems like your goal is to just protect your own psyche and just get things to stop bothering you. And the way that you do that is by blocking me out. And if that's your goal, then you really don't care about me very much, or you're really in a bad emotional state where you have to do that. Because I write this blog, I make all these videos. I mean, I keep telling everybody about what's going on, how things are going, and you know, I put the information out there, and I'm willing to talk about it. I'm willing to explain things, and if I don't know why I was born into this family, but what I'm going through is just making me more and more determined to get well in the real way, get completely well, so that I'm not having these problems dragging on. I need help. I need help from people who know what they're doing, from the right doctors, and I don't need to be responsible for all of this on my own anymore. And I don't need to have the pride of thinking like, oh, look at me, I can do it all on my own. That's been a fault of mine for a long time, and here I am finally coming around to saying, I'm realizing the healthy thing is that I need to get a doctor. Lyme disease is not something you do as a self-help thing on your own. It's a serious, serious thing. And I don't know anybody else who's treating themselves on their own by you know, free will, when they still have, you know, when there's money available where they could have a doctor. I know other people who have been in treatment for as long as I have, and their parents are not cutting them off, saying that they must be better if it's gone on this long. I guess what happened is that my dad just got overstressed, and he just had to shut off the stress, and it's just unfortunate that he's like that, because it's been really tough on the family. And I mean, I guess that he probably has similar problems, and probably has KPU problems, probably has anxiety problems, probably has big mineral imbalance and stuff. And so how am I going to survive, you guys? Anybody watching this, how am I going to do this? My mom says she's going to help me, but you know, between my mom and my dad, my family has money, and I really don't need to be in a position where I'm skimping on stuff and not getting help that I need, because I have to like justify everything. I feel like I always have to write like this like very complicated grant proposal for anything that I get, even a Lyme doctor visit, or even having a doctor at all. And you know, it's stressful and it's a pain, and that's sort of what's gotten me to this point where I just try to do stuff on my own, because I don't want to have to go through the grant process. But you know, please, please, I just need to get better, because I have a lot to live for. I have to blow through. I feel like I have a friend who was a foster child, and I bet he had this feeling, I bet he had a similar feeling where he's like, I've got to pull through, I've got to be able to do it, because I've got to make it in life. I don't want to be stuck in this terrible foster child sort of a thing, and like his family, and his parents were dead and stuff, and like, and he went to Stanford, and now he works in investment banking, and he's really made it, and he's very successful. But I feel like the same sort of situation where I feel like I'm coming from this family that seems like a middle-class family, and it seems like a good family and everything, and where it seems like they're, you know, everybody's supportive and great and everything, but it's really, at the heart of it, it's a very hard family to be from. It's like I'm poor, even though we're not that poor, and we're not really poor, and it's like we're inner city, or it's like it's like I come from a neglectful family, or an abusive family, or it's like you know, if I had my head on straight when I was younger, maybe I would have asked to be like moved to a different family. You know, because my family was really an abusive environment to grow up in, and I'm coming to see the part that my family environment had in my having anorexia and chronic anorexia. And I really don't think that there's a lot of other families where I could have had that much anorexia for that long and had so little treatment. I think I had approximately 6 to 8 weeks of, or, you know, maybe 2 months maybe of treatment for it, and then, you know, 2 or 3 therapy sessions here or there for the rest of it. And I was anorexic off and on for 7 years, and visited my family frequently during this. You can see pictures of me being stick thin in these, and you know, not a lot of wanted to help me, but I feel like I was just sort of carrying out the family desire for me, which was for me to disappear and not have any needs, and just sort of fade into the background. And, you know, I've had a lot of problems throughout my life with feeling like suicidal ideas. I'm not having that now, but just throughout my life, there's been a lot of sort of, you know, doing stuff that's been dangerous, and just having this idea in my head that's the direction that I was headed in somehow, and just the idea comes up a lot when I'm dealing with other stresses. And I think a large part of it is just growing up in this family environment where I didn't feel appreciated, or I didn't really feel like anybody cared what happened to me. And it's just sort of what happens when you have parents with their own health problems that are sort of neglectful parents. But a lot of us with Lyme are in this situation. And, you know, and I guess for a long time, other people with Lyme say, oh, it's like that for me too, or I go through that too. And it's just like, I guess I just happened to get into this topic, and I've been reading some books about narcissism and books about toxic parents and other stuff. And I'm just kind of connecting with, you know, well, whether it's common with Lyme patients or not, it's not good and it's not ideal, and I deserve more. And I remember I was in actually an outpatient hospital thing for depression once, and they had some sort of thing about like, oh, how did you feel if your parents didn't give you the love and help and attention that you needed? And I just mentioned, I was like, oh, well, I didn't even realize that I deserved that in the first place. I just thought that, you know, anything that my parents gave me was really nice of them to give it to me, because, you know, that was sort of the feeling in my family, is that if people did anything for you, you're supposed to be very grateful, because the default was that you didn't really deserve anything, and that you, so, and the person running the group was shocked, and she's like, are you serious? Like, that's really bad. Like, haven't heard that one before, of like a kid that didn't get the love and attention they wanted, and they just didn't even realize, they didn't think that they deserved it in the first place. And so it's like, I've been in this family, like, I'm an awesome person, and I'm starting to connect to self-esteem and seeing who I am, and I'm just realizing, like, you know, I'm great, and like, this family, people have had very little interest in what I'm going to do with my life, and if anything, it's been a lot of sort of negative advice. Like, I'll tell my parents, oh, you know, I really want to go to graduate school, I really want to use my intelligence, like, I'm actually a pretty bright person. It wasn't a surprise. I mean, it's not just a fluke that I won all these awards and got like a super high SAT score in 7th grade and got to fly to Duke University for national awards for it. And, you know, my DNA has been tested for studies of giftedness and multiple times. And, you know, like, these are not just flukes. I actually have some talents. I'll tell my family, like, yeah, I want to use my talents and skills. And they're sort of like, I don't know about that. Why don't you just do something safe? Like, how about you just get a math job with your math degree? And that's not what I want to do with my life. And what do you mean by a math job? I mean, I don't even have any programming skills. I hate programming. So, I've grown up in this family, and I didn't get a lot of feedback one way or the other from the family, except in one area, which is where if I stuck out and I needed something, or if I had an illness or whatever, it was like, don't you dare, don't do that, get quiet again, don't do that. And so it's like, it's like no wonder I'm just like, gosh, what do I do to make my